Hey guys, so welcome back to my channel. So a couple days ago I was reading the Book of Ruth. So what I wanted to do was tell you how a couple things that what I learned from reading the Book of Ruth, because in life you learn so many lessons. And again, I'll say this, that when you start really getting into your Bible, you start to learn lessons that pertain to you and how you treat other people. So I was reading the Book of Ruth, right? And I had heard about the story a lot of times, but I had never really, I never really read it for myself, but I always heard about Naomi and Ruth. So basically the story goes, and what I took from it is so many things, because I went through so many things last year, and just everything. Sometimes you can read something and it totally like falls into place with what you believe and how life flows. So anyway, I do believe in generational curses, and I do believe that you have the authority to remove generational curses, and it depends on how you pray and how you come to God, and also just knowing that you can pray over those things so that they are removed. And if nobody in your family, in your generation does that, then it continues. So anyway, I was reading the Book of Ruth. I got to the Book of Ruth, and as you know, if you come to my channel, I've been reading my Bible, and I see that it's taking me a minute. It's probably gonna take me the whole rest of the year. So Naomi she had two sons, and her two sons had died, and I guess they had two wives, and that was Orpah and Ruth. Okay, so, and just to take it back a little bit, basically her husband had died too. So to me, I felt like it was a generational curse, because then her two sons died. It didn't really say how, but then her two sons died, and it left their wives widowed. So Naomi had said, she was telling her daughter-in-laws to just go and just you can leave me. You don't have to. Sorry guys, I was trying to hold my phone. She was like, just go, live your lives. You don't have to stay with me. Go off, be happy, live your lives. So the one daughter, Orpah, she was like, okay. She went and she left. She didn't give it a second thought. She went and went back to her family. But Ruth said, no, I'm staying with you. I'm not going anywhere. And she was like, where you die, I'll die. Where you go, I'll go. I'm going to stay with you. So she stayed with her mother-in-law, even though it was no benefit in her. Her husband had passed. They didn't have any kids. So I feel like God blessed her, and that's how she met her husband Boaz, because she was helping her mother-in-law. And when I say people are in your life for a reason and for a season, and I know it sounds cliche, but what I took from it is basically, some people are in your life for a reason. And when I say a reason, it's like God put them there. And because of those people being there in your life, sometimes you have to look at the reason that people is in your life and understand that they are there to bless you. And you might not see it then. And then some people are in your life for a season. And that means like you might be going through a domestic violence relationship. And I don't wish that on anybody, but you might be going through a relationship that was awful and that hurt you. And I do feel like you need to just move on. But some relationships, I feel like, are a blessing from God. And a lot of people, sometimes they take people for granted. They use people for what they can get out of a relationship. And just looking at how she stayed with her mother-in-law, even though it was no benefit in her, it just made me think about how people take so many people for granted. And once they can't use you anymore, or they feel you're not of value, they move on. And that can be a friendship. That can be a relationship. That can be business. It's like people don't understand that good people are irreplaceable. And sometimes God is moving through that person. So because she stayed, God blessed her with a great husband, Boaz. He blessed her with a good husband. And I feel like had she not stayed, she may have not found the right husband, or may have never found a husband. And I just think that reading that chapter just opened my eyes to not only just taking that and just seeing how things work in relationships, but to also see that, being of service to other people, even when you're not getting anything out of that relationship. And there are so many people I have learned in the past that will use you for what they can get out of you. And then when there's nothing else left, it's like they move on. And like I said, it could be a friend, it could be a girlfriend that you hang out with all the time, and you might lose your job, and then all of a sudden they're like, okay, well, I can't go out to eat with this person. Or it could be a boyfriend that benefited from being around you because your family has a lot of things to offer and your family can lose money. It's just so many things that went through my head. And even at night when I slept, I was dreaming about it, because I get so excited about the word now, especially when I'm learning things. And I'm, as an adult, you take things differently because it applies to your life in so many different ways. So I just want to say, if you get a chance to read the Book of Ruth, I'm now in the Book of Samuel, and it was like 3 pages. I didn't know that chapter was so small, and that tells you learning, it comes for everybody in different ways. So with that being said, I just want to say that make sure that you realize that any relationship that you have, make sure it's genuine, and just recognize the people around you also, because like I said, sometimes people are around you because they think they can get something from you, or they want something from you, and then as soon as it's no longer of value, they leave. And that's why I say, even though people are in your life for a reason and a season, but there are some people that are in your life for an actual reason, and they came to bless you, and it might be a gift from God. So just don't be so disposable with people and just throw them away if they have no more value to you, or they don't add value to your life. Basically, you got to look around and say, okay, what can I do for that person? Because God could be using them to pour a blessing over your life. And that chapter just touched me so much. Anyway, I'm waiting for my daughter so we can go in the gym. I had a long day at work, and I just been like pondering over this chapter and just asking myself, like, how does it apply to my life? And just wanting to be a better person. So I hope everybody has a blessed and wonderful Tuesday. I am exhausted, and I'm just going to keep reading my Bible. So I'm in the Book of Samuel, y'all. I keep on reading. Like I said, I'm going to keep reading. Even if I got to read that thing twice, I'm going to just keep reading it until I get it right, because you can't do life over, but you also can learn to be a better person. I don't care if you're 50, 60, 70 years old. Reading your Bible can only make you a better person, especially if you open up your heart to God and just be obedient in every way. It just changes your life. So yeah, I get kind of geeked up about reading my word, because it's just something that I'm so new to, and I'm just so interested in. And just each and every time I find something that applies to my life and something I can use. So yeah, guys, have a blessed and a wonderful day. Bye.